Hello YouTube. Wow, I have been waiting to do this video. I have been waiting to upload my first long form content onto YouTube, and here I am. And what better way to start than an introduction of myself, because I think it's important. A lot of you that have already subscribed, 75, thanks to all of you that have already supported the channel, watching my shorts generally, which has been uploaded from other short form social media platforms. And you know, I've been racking up some views. A lot of you have been commenting, and it's really nice. I like to build the community and to have people obviously talking about their experiences, their lessons in life, and helping me along my journey. But anyway, to get onto it, my name is Tom. I am 29 years old, and I am currently on a journey to get myself into the best possible place I can be, and that is all around money, faith, fitness, relationship, everything generally in life. Take myself from my current situation, which is not too good, and get myself to where I want to be. So for a lot of you that have been following, you'll see that my shorts are based around mindset, fitness, my journey and lessons that I'm learning. I'm also a foreign exchange trader. I've been trading now for 9 years, and I will be taking you on that journey throughout this channel. So for anyone that is also interested in the financial markets, you can also subscribe and follow me along that journey as well. Now, if you are coming across this video and you're wondering what this channel is about, it is generally a vlog / life look into me and what I'm doing with my life. So you can follow this channel, subscribe, and follow the journey of me and basically me moving through life. So you can see at the moment I'm on a walk kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's snowing. It's actually snowing. You can see the sun's in the background, and I'm out here now making this first long form content. Now, I didn't kind of have a huge script. This is just me doing it as I'm going. I'm just talking about me and who I am. But I just wanted to get the first video out there. This year, 2026, is a big year for me getting out of my comfort zone, doing things that generally I probably wouldn't do, or it would take me a while to actually get there and start to do that thing that I want to do. If you are subscribing, if you are following along, you're going to see everything to do with my life. And that could be fitness, trading, going on holidays, traveling, general life lessons that I'm learning, maybe lessons that I've taught other people. And you can follow me along on that journey. You can follow me and understand me a lot more. You can dive into my world as much as I want to dive into my subscribers' world as well. I want to know about you guys. I want to learn about you. I want to eventually get meetups. I want to meet the people that follow me on this journey. I want to create new relationships and expand my knowledge as best as I can. So if you're not subscribed yet, and you think I'm a chill guy, or someone that you would like to watch and continue to learn from, or teach me things. I love learning. If you can teach me things, then please subscribe, follow along the journey, and I will be working a lot harder on long form content. I'm now about to go through the gates of luxury, not hell. These are the gates of luxury. Also, I might as well introduce you to my fairy friend, my broski from another mother. Stan, come. Here he is. So this is the boy. This is Stan. Stan, say hi. This is my cockapoo. He's about 5 years old, something like that. I should probably know. But this is the boy that comes on a lot of walks with me. He comes and explores these beautiful places with me too. So, to get more in depth into who I am and what I am as a person, I'm going to explain a bit about myself. So the first thing you've gathered is my name is Tom. I like to be called Tommy, Thomas, Tom, whatever. I don't really care. Tommy is kind of a more recent one, and it was due to being in certain workplaces in which there were too many Thomas or Toms. So I thought, you know what, I'll take up Tommy. I quite like it. I like the ring. Tommy, let's go for it. Let's take it. So Tommy is also a name that is quite used a lot for me. But most people, especially parents, when I'm in trouble, call me Thomas. Yes. Now, a bit about me. So, I grew up in a small town called Beverley. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't born there. I was actually born in Germany because my dad was based in the army. So he was based in Germany. That was where he worked from. And I was born in Germany. So I am technically German. I'm not really, but I was born on English soil. So I don't think it counts. Now, I don't know, to be honest, how long we lived there, but it wasn't long enough for me to learn the German knowledge, the German knowledge, the German slang, the German, language. There we go. I got that. The German language. So we lived there for a bit, and then we moved to London, where my dad then got based. He was a Coldstream Guard. So we went back to London, which was Windsor, actually. We actually lived behind Legoland, and that was the steam train. There's currently a steam train going, and they make some weird noises. But yeah, it was in Windsor, and we actually lived behind the Legoland, which was quite an experience. I don't actually remember it. I don't think I ever got my Legoland driving license, but I can always go back and get that. However, we then ventured from Windsor over to Hull, and we lived in a new build house in Hull for a bit. I can't really remember it too much, but I remember it wasn't really the best place to live. I remember it being quite dangerous. So then we decided to venture over to Beverley, which is a small town on the kind of outskirts of Hull in Yorkshire. And that's where I spent 21 years growing up. I went to primary school there, secondary school. I went to college. That was actually in Hull. I used to travel in, but I went to college, and all around there I kind of grew up, and I made my friends and my values and whatever I took from life. And then as I got older, we moved to a little village, another little village which was outside of Hull called Roos, which is towards Wivensea. We lived there for a bit, and I actually ventured off and I went to live with my brother for a bit. So I got a brother who's older than me called Sam, and he moved to Leeds with his girlfriend at the time. But long story short, they broke up, so I decided to move in with my brother, and that's when I first become what they call independent. I lived on my own with my brother, no parents, and I was very independent. And that lasted for a bit before I decided that I actually wanted to move to London. I'd always wanted to live in London. Obviously, London, not Windsor. So I leveled up in my job at the time in Leeds, and I became a manager. But when I went for the manager job, I actually decided to go to London to do the interview to become manager in London. That ended up being successful, and I moved to London, and I lived out in London for a couple years. But after about 6 months of living in London, I actually met a girl, and we started dating. And long story short, it moved very quick. I ended up moving in with her. She got her own mortgage, which was in Southend-on-Sea. And it started off really well, but it was like a candle. Eventually it burned out, and I had to move back home. So I moved back home with my parents, and that's where I am now. And I'm living in this beautiful place, which is Aviemore in Scotland. So yes, we ventured onto Aviemore in Scotland, which, as you can tell, I mean, honestly, it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. I can't even explain it, but if you've been to Aviemore or any kind of part of Scotland, it's very picturesque. It's beautiful. So yes, one thing I've always struggled with is my weight, being able to maintain my weight. Now, when I was young, I was actually really skinny and, what you would call fit. And I looked after my body. My parents were very kind of strict with what I ate. But then as I got older, kind of in secondary school, I had this accident where I fell out a tree, believe it or not, and I had stitches in my leg. Now, I was off school for like 2 weeks. I was laid on the couch and I was eating loads of bad food, and I put on a lot of weight. For some reason, I don't think it's to do with that, but since that time, I seem to become a chubby kid, and I kind of always kept that weight on. I kept the weight on for ages, and I was dealing with that weight. I was dealing with holding that weight and really struggling when I got into my older years to lose it. I shortly realized that I developed the habit of when I feel down or anxious or sad or stressed, I would then turn to food. I would turn to food and eat that to make myself feel better. Now, that is a problem that I am now, as an adult, as a 29-year-old, trying to deal with and trying to fix, or whatever way I might be able to fix that. If anyone has the knowledge, chuck it my way, because it's important that I get over this little bump in the road. And I've always been into the gym and fitness, but there's one thing has always stopped me in my tracks. And I could get so far with eating very well with nutrition, and then boom, it's like I have to have a big binge eat. You know, it won't just be like one bag of sweets. It could be multiple bags of sweets with multiple takeaways, and this could go on for weeks, months at a time before I decide, actually, let me start to work on my fitness again. But the consistency of doing my fitness is never as long as the consistency of self-sabotage. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this in my relationship that I just got out of, the breakup was about 4 months ago. I was eating a lot in this relationship. I mean, I must have put on about 30 kilograms since the day I met her up to the end of the relationship. Now I'm still kind of delving deep into the reason why, or why I was so stressed in the relationship. I think a lot of pressure was from my own psyche of how I was feeling and thinking. It's like I never fixed them things, them traumas, and I brought them into a relationship. And I haven't had a lot of relationships in my 29 years. So for me to actually step into a very serious relationship, and I really cared and loved this girl, I think it just knocked me off track. And I was going through a lot of mindset complications to do with where I want to be in life and what I want to do as a career. I've always been someone who's really excelled well in jobs. I've moved up very quick. People have always took a liking to me, but I always get to the point where it's just not enough, and I self-sabotage the job and end up losing it or leaving, even though I've worked my way up very quick. And it's happened a lot for a lot of jobs. So any future hirers, hope you're not watching this video. But yeah, that's something that I am really trying to work on. And, you know, I believe personally that I need to be running my own thing. I need to be running my own business, be my own boss, because that's what's really going to allow me to excel. And working for myself, I'm very business mindset orientated. You know, like I said, I've done trading for 9 years, and I love it. It's something that I started as following signals, and I taught myself eventually, and now I trade, you know, properly, consistently. And something that I taught myself, but I still want to run my own thing. I love speaking to the camera. I studied acting in college, and I studied acting in GCSE as well. I did GCSE drama. I've always been someone that's quite theatrical, musical. I love music. I play the guitar. I can sing. And them things are something that's part of me, you know, like my core. It's who I am. Like, I'm someone who's very outgoing, very musical, very theatrical in what I do. And a lot of that shows throughout me as a person. But the food thing has always been a big block in my way, something that I really need to work on and move forward with and get through. I really want to excel in that. But I became a big lover of traveling. I absolutely love traveling. And my ex-partner really got me into that. She was big on traveling as well. And we would go all over the place. We absolutely loved to go traveling. One of the best places we were going to was Italy. Italy is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to go back. But yeah, that is me, guys. I mean, there's probably a lot more about me, and you know, if I was to try and fit that into one video, it would be lengthy. You know, you'd be looking at hour-long seasons with full-on episodes, production crew. You know, we could act it all out. And also, I'd have to go and sit down and really remember everything, because if you think of all the things you've done, I don't think you can generally remember every single thing off just the back of filming a video. But that's me, guys. I'm Tommy, I'm 29, and this is my life. So I hope you follow along and I can take you on the journey of how I am now to becoming my best self and helping others. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.